Last Sunday, as I was watching EWTN, I realized the Pope was presiding at a Mass in St. Peter's Basilica on the Sunday designated for the poor. And I realized we hadn't gotten the message, so we didn't make a special mention of it. But it strikes me every year in the same time, there are three saints whose feasts are all the same week, all dedicated to the service of the poor and the needy. Sunday the 13th actually would have been the feast of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini, Mother Cabrini as most people call her, the first American to be canonized as a saint. And she left Italy forming a community dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And the Pope asked her especially to come to America to serve the needs of the Italian immigrants. And so she founded schools and orphanages and hospitals from New York to Chicago, dedicating so many years to serving the needs of the poor, the immigrants, and helping them to establish themselves in this new homeland. She was noted for that concern for the poor, and she died in her 60s in 1917. So she's very special to us because she is the first American citizen to be canonized and relatively close to our own days, 1917. The other two saints that occur the same time of the year are much further back in our history. St. Margaret of Scotland, who died in the year 1093 at the age of 43. And she had a Hungarian mother and an English father in the days of the Anglo and Saxons. And in 1066, when the Normans conquered England, her Anglo-Saxon family fled, got on a boat, and then were shipwrecked off the coast of Scotland. And when the king there came and saw her, he was very much attracted to this young lady, and so he married her. And they had 6 sons, 2 daughters, and in particular, Margaret gave herself to caring for the poor and the needy in that area of Scotland. In fact, at one point when her husband went off to the Crusades and he was killed there, his family put her out of the palace because she was giving away so much. They were offended by it. But fortunately, when her son came back from the Crusades, then he restored her to live in the palace her last days and was a very active member of the Third Order of St. Francis. We know that also, as she died, of course, in 1049, the next day, 17, we celebrate St. Elizabeth of Hungary, who again was a very young girl. Of course, at the time, people were given in marriage very early in life. At 14, she was married to a German prince, and they had 3 children. And again, she used all the resources available to her to give away to the poor, to even take one of the castles that she had and make it into a hospital, which was almost unheard of at the time. Again, very dedicated as a member of the Third Order of St. Francis. And she died in the year 1231 at the age of 24. I think to myself, wow, these saints did so much in such a short time in life. She's only 24, St. Margaret, only 42, and yet all the work they had done to reach out to those in need. And it always strikes me it's appropriate that we have these feasts coming to us before we celebrate Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's so easy for us to take things for granted. And we know there are many poor and needy in our midst. And yes, the more we appreciate what we've received, I think the more anxious we are to reach out to those who have not been blessed with so many things, who are in difficult straits in terms of their having a place to live, caring for children, having enough food, especially in these days of inflation. So as we approach our own celebration of Thanksgiving, and we remember all the gifts that we have received, and we do a little examination of conscience. How well have we used the gifts we've received? And do we think of others when we think of all those gifts? Yes, the more we realize how generous our God has been to us, the more generous we want to be in reaching out to others. I hope you and your family and loved ones have a great Thanksgiving celebration, and that you will really try to appreciate all that God has given to you. Our Thanksgiving morning Mass is probably the very best way we can say, thank you, Lord, for everything. God bless you.